Hello gamers, I'm J104 and today I'm doing something a little bit different as I'm not so much as looking at a game than I am looking at a developer, that being Aspyr Games, a company that has come up a lot in my life recently with their work remastering a bunch of Star Wars games and of course the Tomb Raider games, which have showed up a lot more in my YouTube recommendations after playing Rise of the Tomb Raider. But that is not what spurred on this video, as I'm what you may call a nerd or a massive Star Wars fan, and I have made it my life's goal to own all Star Wars games available on Steam. So, to keep this goal achieved, every Steam sale I look up Star Wars and see if there's anything I'm missing. When I saw a game called Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles. Now, when I saw this game, I had absolutely no idea that it was a re-release, as the original game is a little before my time, and by a little, I mean 11 days before I was born. And there is also nothing that suggests its re-releaseness. It was, however, the reviews that let me in on that little fact. And as you can tell by the gameplay, I'm not great at these types of games. But it was a perfect opening for my little mind to dive deeper into who Aspyr Games are. But before we go through that, let's do a quick little review of what little bits I played of Jedi Power Battle. The graphics look pretty good for a game's re-release. It hasn't done the GTA special of looking worse than the OG. And the controls are, I would say, learnable. It's like those multiplayer games you used to play on the school computers when you're not allowed to, where it's like there's WASD and then the arrow keys for 2-player and like there's weird fire buttons and the mouse isn't used. But you get used to it after a bit. And something about the game that really made me laugh, every time you pick up a power up or something like that, a health pack, it makes a little Yoda moan noise. I feel like that's also something Republic Heroes did. So I don't know what's up with games and making Yoda moan on pickups, but it happens a lot. However, I ended up rage quitting the game after being unable to even damage droidicas. When I Alt F4'd, I was sitting on the game's Steam page when I clicked the little link to Aspyr Games, and oh boy, I was shocked. As it turns out, Aspyr Games used to mainly be a porting house, seemingly with a focus on getting games to work on macOS. But let me just say, when I saw the list of games they have developed, I was shooketh before I figured out that it was porting, with them being responsible for ports of the games like Civ, a bunch of Call of Duties, a couple Borderlands, and one of my favourite muck around games, Planet Coaster. Oh, and quickly to add, I may say just a port. I don't mean in any way of saying that that is a bad thing. I'm sure getting games like BO3 to work on a Mac isn't easy by any stretch of the imagination. Just not truly developing the games, if you sort of understand where I'm coming from, hopefully. But the real question is, why did they change from porting to polishing and remastering classics? Well, looking through their game's history and the company's history, I believe a shift in the company's focus would have happened around 2021 when the Embracer Group brought Aspyr and placed it under the tutelage of Saber Interactive, with previous management staying on at Aspyr, which you just love to see. And then Embracer being one of the biggest collections of gaming and otherwise IP, giving them access to a bunch of things like Tomb Raider, and well, more exciting for me maybe in the future, is Deus Ex. And after the cancellation of the next mainline Deus Ex game, maybe we could get a remaster of the first Deus Ex, because that doesn't run on my computer anymore. Now, Saber Interactive was sold out of the Embracer Group, but them keeping Aspyr in the group, as it was not a part of the sale, and pumping out more Star Wars and Tomb Raider games and maybe more. The only way to find out, I guess, is to keep up to date with what Aspyr are doing, which seemingly could be a bit difficult. I don't know how their marketing works. I mentioned this in the Battlefront video that I did not see any marketing for that game until it was released, and like, I consume so much Star Wars media, so I'm a little shocked on how I got no marketing for that or this game. I did, however, see marketing for the Tomb Raider remasters, so I don't know how that works. Like, they need a marketing team, or I don't know, maybe they just not allowed to market their games, or they don't get a massive marketing budget. Which, I mean, if you're putting more work into the game than the marketing, I think that's deep down a good thing. But who knows? Marketing, not a big part of game development. A big part of game publishing, but not game development, I guess. But that's who Aspyr are, a porting house that has seemingly upgraded to remastering a bunch of games from mine and yours childhood, which in a term of game preservation I like a lot. They are not massively changing the games, and also, like with the Halo Master Chief Collection, at least in the Tomb Raider games, you can switch between the old graphics and the remastered, sort of refined, updated look, which is even better in my mind than just updating the looks. But this has been a different kind of video, taking a look at a developer that I really didn't know much about, and maybe you didn't know much about either. But now we can both wait for their next release, knowing what we are about to get into. And I'm also going to add a little comment. If you've seen my Classic Collection Battlefront video I did, my thoughts have changed on that a bit for the positive, as my main issue I talked about in that video was the multiplayer. Now, after seeing on that for a while, that was probably my classic Aussie internet being horrendous, as I replayed the campaign for Battlefront 2 earlier this year and enjoyed my time massively, as I did playing Battlefront 2 back when I was a wee lad. But anyways, I have been J104, and you know what, leave in the comments below your favourite Aspyr game, and I'll hopefully see you in the next video. Peace.